Tired of living on autopilot? Want to reprogram your mind and become the best version of yourself? At Mentality Top, we talk to you about Joe Dispenza. Discover the power of your mind with Joe Dispenza, the scientist who will teach you how to hack your brain and change your reality. In this video, you'll delve into the research of this neuroscience pioneer, who will reveal how your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs directly impact your health, well-being, and success. Learn how to eliminate limiting thought patterns, develop a more powerful and resilient mind, manifest your desires and goals, heal your body and live a more fulfilling life. Get ready for a radical transformation with Joe Dispenza and start living the life you've always dreamed of. Joe Dispenza, the neuroscientist who teaches you how to reprogram your mind. Can you imagine changing your life by reprogramming your mind? That is the mission of Joe Dispenza, a scientist, researcher, and lecturer who has dedicated his life to unraveling the secrets of the brain and how it can influence our health, well-being, and happiness. Born in the United States on March 22, 1962, Joe Dispenza studied biochemistry at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, chiropractic at Life University in Atlanta, and later received his doctorate in neuroscience. He has pursued graduate studies in neurology, neurophysiology, brain function, cell biology, genetics, memorization, brain chemistry, aging, and longevity. After suffering a serious accident at the age of 23, he focused his work on the brain and the mind-body connection, experimenting with his theories in the brain. His fascination with the power of the mind led him to investigate how our thoughts and emotions can modify the expression of our genes and even reverse diseases. His research and discoveries have revolutionized the field of neuroscience and epigenetics. Through his books, lectures, and workshops, Joe Dispenza has taught thousands of people around the world how to use the power of their mind to overcome depression, anxiety, and stress, improve their physical and mental health, attract what they desire into their lives, live a fuller, happier life. Among his most outstanding works are You Are the Placebo, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, or Evolve Your Brain, The Science of Changing Your Mind. His lectures and workshops, full of energy and enthusiasm, are a true journey into the human mind. Joe Dispenza explains complex concepts in a simple and entertaining way, making science accessible to everyone. No wonder he is one of the most popular speakers in the world. If you are looking for a way to change your life, Joe Dispenza is the person to help you. His work will show you how to use the power of your mind to create the reality you desire. Are you ready to reprogram your mind and live a better life? Our destiny begins in our thoughts. Your mind, the magnet that attracts your destiny. Discover the power of your thoughts. Do you want to become the architect of your own reality? The key is in your thoughts. As Wayne Dyer said, our destiny begins in our thoughts. This phrase holds a powerful truth. Your thoughts are the seeds that shape your life. How does it work? It's simple. Your thoughts lead you to make decisions. The decisions you make lead to actions. Actions lead to experiences. Experiences ultimately create your results. See how it all connects? Prosperity, success, happiness, it all starts in your mind. To cultivate a prosperous mind, eliminate limiting beliefs. Focus on the positive. Visualize your goals. Repeat positive affirmations. Surround yourself with inspiring people. What you sow mentally, you reap materially. Remember, your thoughts are like magnets. They attract to you what you focus on. Want to attract abundance, success, and happiness? Start by reprogramming your mind. The key to our daily experience lies in the mind, as everything is summed up in energy fields. Our thoughts exert a constant influence on our reality. It is a fact. Our mind shapes our reality and, in turn, defines our life. In every instant, we are shaping our future. However, as Joe Dispenza has pointed out, we face a challenge. We tend to create the same future because we reaffirm our personality. We live under the direction of memorized thought patterns, behaviors and emotional reactions, such as fear, guilt, low self-esteem, anger and prejudice, which act as programs installed in our subconscious. Recall the wise words of Joseph Murphy, author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, 2016. As we think, so we are. As we continue to think, so we shall remain. The truth is obvious. If we keep doing the same thing, we will get the same results. And unfortunately, many people find themselves trapped in a cycle that they find it difficult to get out of, thinking it is something beyond their control. But here's the good news. Yes, we can influence it. We just need to understand how to do it and apply it with discipline and patience. We are either victims of our reality or creators of our reality. We face a fundamental choice in life: to be victims of our reality or to become creators of our own reality. The key to success lies in taking control of our mind, which is equivalent to taking control of our life. To be truly successful, we need to be bigger than the circumstances around us. And this is only possible when we take full responsibility for our lives, which means exercising conscious control over our thoughts. Renowned psychologist William James offers us a valuable perspective when he states that the best weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. This reminds us that we are not prisoners of our circumstances. We are beings full of unlimited possibilities, as there are no limits to what we can think. Let us reflect on those great people who changed the course of history and brought about revolutionary changes. They did not passively accept the reality around them. Rather, they believed in the possibility of another world. They imagined a more exciting future and repeated this mental exercise until their minds were literally transformed. Thomas Edison envisioned a world illuminated by electric power. George Stephenson dreamed of a steam engine that would free men and animals from backbreaking toil, and so on. These visionaries not only created a change in their mentality, but also manifested that change in physical reality. Mental reality generates specific neural connections that give rise to the physical manifestation of that reality. We live mentally in two ways: in a state of creation, where we constantly generate possibilities, or in a state of survival, where we simply repeat the known. When you live with stress, in order to survive, you tend to focus on what is familiar. When you live in creation without stress, you focus on new possibilities. When you are immersed in stressful situations, it is natural to focus on the familiar as a survival mechanism. But when you live stress-free and immerse yourself in the realm of creativity, your attention is directed toward new and exciting possibilities. The connection between stress and creative processes is not that efficient, as supported by science, but anyone can experience it firsthand. Stress blocks, interferes with your fluidity, and affects the neural connections that support creativity and the connection of ideas. In the movie Wall Street, 1988, Gordon Gekko, played by Michael Douglas, wisely stated, "Getting nervous clouds the brain. Meditating, practicing gratitude, experiencing love, enjoying joy, being generous, reading or connecting with nature are practices that deactivate stress, bringing us to a calmer emotional state from which we can create and find solutions more easily. Creativity feeds on novelty, and novelty arises from contemplating possibilities. While stress seeks solutions in what already is, imagination focuses on what could be. Ultimately, our actions stem from either fear or love. Those who act from fear, stress, when faced with a problem ask themselves, "What do I do now?" But those who act from love, trust, think, "Relax, everything will work out, I will find an alternative." This favorable mentality favors the optimal functioning of neural networks. These neural connections allow us to search for the perfect combination of parameters to solve a specific problem. And when we are in a state of fluency with the task, we are more effective and efficient. Real change is about being aware of our unconscious reactions. By becoming aware of those automatic thoughts that we don't normally pay attention to, and by observing the emotions that accompany them, we begin to objectify our subconscious mind. Authentic change involves recognizing our automatic responses without being aware of them. By becoming familiar with the aspects of ourselves that generate anger, anxiety, or any other feelings we wish to change, we can identify when we begin to experience those emotions and take action to change them. This is what we call mindfulness, stopping to understand and choose what is in our best interests. Our thoughts are shaped by our unconscious beliefs, but by stopping to analyze, reflect on, and observe them from a distance, we can change them. In short, the more we observe ourselves, the less we define ourselves. It is no coincidence that one of Joe Dispenza's books is entitled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. In it, he tells us, if you want to create a new personal reality, you must literally transform yourself into someone new. Reinvent a new self. Awakening is nothing more than raising our level of consciousness. And consciousness, by making us aware of what is happening, allows us to change. The process of change involves becoming aware of our unconscious self. Fear is ignorance, and ignorance is the worst poverty. On the broad stage of life, fear looms like a shadow. And that shadow feeds on ignorance, one of the most devastating forms of poverty. Fear arises when we face the unknown, when we do not understand the reasons behind the circumstances around us. But once we illuminate that ignorance with the beacon of understanding, we raise our consciousness and open the door to change. As Joe Dispenza, a leading member of the field of neuroscience and personal development, says, "My mission is to bring the right scientific knowledge to people so that they can reason and realize that change is a real possibility." This perspective is based on the quantum model that explores the connection between mind and reality, demonstrating that change is more accessible than ever today. Following this line of thought, Socrates bequeathed us an eternal truth. There is only one good, knowledge. There is only one evil, ignorance. In an age where information is constantly flowing, and at the click of a button, ignorance becomes a conscious choice. Knowledge empowers us, gives us the vision of possibilities that were previously invisible to us, and awakens us to a greater awareness of ourselves and the world around us. Moreover, when we understand the mechanisms behind events, we become better able to deal with the challenges that arise in our lives. As Dispenza points out, knowledge is power, but knowledge about oneself is the power to empower oneself. The frontal lobe is the CEO of the brain. The rest of the brain is just past programming. In the world of neuroscience, the frontal lobe is the real boss, the CEO of the brain. Everything else, all the rest of our complex organ, acts according to the guidelines that this sector of the brain sets up, as if they were simple lines of code in a computer program. Albert Einstein, that genius of physics, once said that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. What did he mean by this? Basically, that our abilities to visualize, to imagine new realities, have a far greater impact on our lives than simply what we know. When we imagine something new, when we create an ideal in our mind, the frontal lobe kicks into action, selecting different neural networks and weaving a new tapestry of thoughts and possibilities. However, here is the crux of the matter. Most of the time, we get stuck in the same thought patterns, replaying over and over again the same experiences from the past. But learning is the antidote to this. Learning is creating new connections in our brain. It is expanding our mind to previously unknown horizons. Learning opens doors to infinite possibilities. So how can we harness this transformative power? It's simple. Let's clearly define who we want to be and hold that vision with unwavering faith. When we do this, we are literally molding and wiring our brains to fit that idea. As Dispenza mentions, every time we learn something, we are physically changing the structure of our brain, making new connections and creating new synapses, those points of communication between our neurons. It is important to understand that our mind is the driver of our life. All our physical movements, all our actions, are the result of the commands our mind sends to our body. So let us take time to contemplate who we want to be. Because even the simple act of visualizing that future begins to change the very structure of our brain, opening the way to a new reality. Greatness is about holding on to a dream, regardless of the environment in which you live. Achieving your goals lies in keeping the flame of your dreams alive, regardless of the circumstances around you. Often, people find justifications in their environment to explain their current situation. However, we can change this dynamic by modifying our mental attitude. As Dispenza says, it is feasible to transform the circumstances of our reality if we know the way. Change involves transcending the environment. According to quantum physics, we are not mere spectators of reality. We are the architects of our own existence. Our physical experience is shaped by our mental experience. That is, by what we focus our attention on. Where we direct our thoughts, that is where our life is directed. Observe your thoughts and reflect on what you are focusing them on. Opportunities or limitations? Put aside any conditioning factors, be it your education, your family background, your past mistakes. You are just one step away from transforming your life, simply by changing the focus of your thoughts at this very moment. And if you persevere in this direction, you will see how the change materializes, since the neural connections your brain forms are determined by your attention. As Louise Hay, author of The Power Within You, said, "I don't solve my problems. I change my thoughts and the problems solve themselves." You are not your past. As is commonly believed, you are what you choose to focus on in your life. We tend to repeat the thought patterns of the past, and in doing so, we get the same results. However, you can change your focus right now, this very moment. Your attention is the engine that drives your existence. As Dispenza states, clear attention and heightened emotion can change your destiny. If we can teach the body to trust the future and live in joy, we create new connections. But it takes discipline. Want to change your life for the better? Then listen to this. Simple positive thinking doesn't work, because negativity is installed in the subconscious. as Joe Dispenza reminds us. But how can we actually make this change? It requires more than just thinking positive. It requires discipline and patience. Picture this: when you decide to go to the gym for the first time, do you expect to have a perfect body the next day? Of course you don't. The same goes for mind control. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and constant effort. Joe Dispenza tells us that every day we must remind ourselves who we don't want to be and who we want to be. In doing so, we are training our subconscious mind to create new habits and thought patterns. This is not magic, it is science. The power of the subconscious mind is real, but we need to learn how to use it. So, if you want to change your life, remember, discipline and patience are your allies. Don't give in to old beliefs that try to sabotage your progress. With every positive thought and every focused action, you are strengthening the circuits in your brain toward a new and better version of yourself. Joe Dispenza says, if you remind yourself every day who you no longer want to be and who you want to be, the more you think about it and the more you plan for it, the more you are installing the circuits in the brain. He concludes, we all have a power, which is the power of the subconscious mind. But you have to learn how to use it. The power of healing is the power of the subconscious mind. Most people are thinking about limitations instead of thinking about possibilities. As Joe Dispenza puts it, maintaining the same thoughts, actions, feelings, and emotions keeps us stuck. Most people focus on barriers instead of exploring opportunities. To evolve, to improve, we must change. If you are looking for someone to transform your life, look no further than the reflection in the mirror. It is no coincidence that Dispenza titles another of his books, You Are the Placebo. To change, you need to adjust your perception of yourself and the world, and open yourself to new ideas and experiences. As Dispenza states, until you see your current reality differently, any changes you make will be superficial and ephemeral. To achieve lasting results, you must reconsider why things happen. Change is always a possibility, and we can reverse any situation when we choose to take conscious control of our mind. It is a choice, as she describes it. Just as water takes the shape of the container that holds it, so life flows through you according to your thoughts. The late American writer Louise Lynn Hay put it this way: when our inner vision expands, our outer world expands. And she also said, the thoughts we choose are the tools with which we paint the canvas of our life.